Hello, hello. I am on. It is 4:01. So I want to get started. I also want to mention let's see, there's a chat. So people are more than welcome to chat. Um what I'm probably going to do is walk through the presentation and then take questions and answers at the end. So let me know if you're having questions. Just put them in the chat box, and I'll get to them at the end. And if you're watching the replay, obviously you can ask questions in the chat box. But the people who are here live I'll be happy to answer at the end. But I will be focused on the actual going through. I have like four slides, and then I'm going to do my vision board, and then we can have questions at the end. Okay. And if you want to do yours, what I would recommend is, if you're not familiar with the software, that you will actually, I wonder, I should probably show my face before I share my screen, start my video. Yes, hi. So what you could do is you could like draw up, if you have a list of goals, you could draw up and you could start searching and listening to me in the background of pictures that you want to put on it. But I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do all that and how I will do mine. I don't expect you to do your vision board during this workshop. It's more of a learning and just consuming the content that I'm going to be giving you. So with that being said, let's get started. This is exciting. All right. So the first slide, why are vision boards important? So, vision boards are a visual of your goals and your dreams. And so it's very important that you have a visual, that your brain gets reminded on a regular basis. So I think a vision board helps setting goals. Some people are more visual. I'm a very to-do list oriented person. So I create to-do lists. I'm mad to-do list creator. But some people like pictures. Some people are more doodlers, and they drawing pictures is like how it's better for their brain to see that. Left brain versus right brain, right? Left brain's more analytical, right brain's more creative. So vision boards can help some people who have trouble writing down goals to create them. And then it also, like I said, you have a pictorial representation of what you want to do in your life. And I love Oprah. I think, well, honestly, when we were younger, we did these vision boards and poster boards, but I learned the importance of them through Oprah, because when she did her show, she used to always say, you need to have your vision boards and those visions that you can't even conceive of really, but they're there in the recesses of your brain. And you need to have them in a place like on your refrigerator, or on, because Oprah's had a lifelong struggle with losing weight. So, if there's visions of you wanting to lose weight, on the refrigerator is a good place to put it. I think it's good on the refrigerator simply because, you go in the refrigerator several times a day. And so if you're seeing your dreams front and center several times a day, then that is a great way to keep reminding yourself of what your dreams are. Another good place is in your bathroom, on the mirror, next to your bed. And then we live in such a technology heavy world. So if you're on the computer a lot, or you're on your phone a lot, or you're on your iPad a lot, you can put it as wallpaper on these different places. So you're always seeing it, multiple times a day. So keeping your dreams front and center is key, and helping you. It's almost like brainwashing. So if your brain sees stuff enough, then it puts it in your subconscious, and then your subconscious is working with, it's like the universe, the universe is helping you get what you want. So if it's in your subconscious, it's permeated throughout your being. And so it will help you to have it on paper as a reminder as to what you want. So, and that's why you want to get negative thoughts and what you don't want out of your head and what you do want in your head. Because if you're always thinking about what you don't have and what you don't want, then the universe, believe it or not, will bring you that. And it's exactly what you don't want. So you want to have your mind always focused on what you want. All right. So that's why they're important. All right. So what is the difference between a dream and a goal? And I thought this was a great description. So I wanted to capture it here because I think a vision board is great for dreams, but I think goals should be on a vision board too. But dreams are more about where you'll end up, the outcome. So, it's not the journey, it's the destination. And goals are achieved on the way to a destination, right? So goals are more of action items towards where you want to go. So dreams are about the summit, the top of the mountain. And then you have several goals to get to the top of the mountain. And then goals require systems, processes, and structures to facilitate and achieve the dreams. So I wanted to give an example. So one of my dreams is to stand on stage and speak to large crowds about my passion, which is you're never too old to start something new and dream a new dream. And so I'm very passionate about that. So, because I changed my life in significant ways when in my 50s. My 50s was my best decade. So, and that's not to say that I didn't enjoy being a mom and raising my kids, because I love that. But I felt like I really blossomed in my 50s. So the goal is really getting my first speaking gig, right? So how do I go? What are the steps that I need to take and the action the actions that will get me to my first speaking gig. And then my first speaking gig really ultimately won't be my dream. My dream is, having paid speaking gigs, right? And speaking to larger crowds. You don't want to speak to a large crowd. Your dream, you probably have to have a few mini goals before you achieve that final dream. So that's an example. All right. So what should go on a vision board? So I think bucket list items, I think of, the things that you want to do before you die. So definitely that. I think the very, very important things that to you are the most important, people can have, in my Make the Rest Your Best course, I have people make up a list of 50 goals. And if you haven't ever tried to do a list of 50 goals, it's really hard. You can get to like I think I got to like 35 and I was like, oh my God, what else? Goals. And so, but like the top ones are the nearer term ones. So, and goals are usually associated with timelines. So you want to do X by Y, or, you want to, what's an example? A bucket list item, if you're going to be doing it, that was one of my bucket list items, but I went to Mexico about 3 years ago when I swam with dolphins. So if I knew I was going to go to Mexico and swim with dolphins, I could say my goal is to swim with dolphins in January, because that was going to be my trip. Run a marathon by the time I'm 50 or something like that. So there can be, but those, goals usually, I stress goals always need to have timelines. They need to be measurable. So they need to have some metrics around them. Pictures that show the life you want. So, is there a certain car you want to have? So a picture of the car you want to be owning, the house that you want to be living in the future, the man you want to be married to, if you're not married right now, or, the significant other, the love you want to find, or whatever that may be. The fourth thing is quotes that inspire you, or affirmations that reinforce behavior that you want to emulate. So in my course, I give example affirmations, but I say for the longest time I did affirmations and they never connected with me, because I didn't understand that affirmations have to be about blocks, really, that you're trying to get over. So, and again, it's, I don't know if you've ever heard of the term brain priming, but neuro-linguistic programming is basically you're training the brain by repeating these things to your brain, and it gets you believing. You really actually start to believe these things, even if you don't feel them at the moment. So it can be a quote that you love that inspires you. Like, one of my favorites is, "You're never too old to dream a new dream." So that's like, maybe somebody who's my age, that would be good to have on their vision board, because that continually inspires them to go after whatever it is, no matter how old you are. But I use the affirmation here. This is more related to somebody who maybe lacks some confidence and is looking to grow confidence. So you would say, "I love change and easily adjust myself to new situations." So if you read that and that's like, "Oh no, I am it's very hard for me to adapt to new situations, and going to new places and meeting new people." So this might be a really good affirmation for you, and you might want to put it on your vision board, because that's what you want to become that. All right. So what you need to get started is you need a list of goals and dreams. And like I said, you don't have to have that right now. You just watch me and I'll go through this with you. PicMonkey. So PicMonkey.com is this program. I love it. I remember when I first started using it, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But it's now I know what I'm doing. And probably there's some advanced features because it came out with a new version recently, and it does these layer things, and I'm still not sure sometimes how that works. But it's a really great platform. There's also an app you can use on your phone, but the app is kind of limited, so I would never recommend the app for the vision board. You could do, for example, like the basic vision board on the web application, the website, and then you could download it as an image, and then you could update it with, like, say you want to add some quotes to it. You could do that on the app, for example, because it's pretty easy to add text to a picture on the app. So computer, yes, most people hopefully have computers nowadays. And this training, so you need this training unless you're really familiar with picture editing software. Then you could use something else. You could use PicMonkey, but I'll show you what I do, and you can go through it at the very end. And if I forget, remind me. I'll hopefully won't forget. I'll make myself a little note here. But there is a Chrome extension that is amazing, and I use it and recommend it to people, because when you use it, it speeds things up, and you can, whenever you watch a video on your computer, you can like speed it up. So I listen to most everything in like 1.5 times speed. Some things I'll listen to in double speed, but people talk really fast in double speed. So you could actually watch this webinar over, and you can slow it down for parts that you need to, you're not getting, and you really need to watch me more slowly, or you can speed it up in the parts that you don't want to listen to. So it's a really great piece of software, and you can, like, you do a lot of training videos. Oh, it's amazing. I also listen to all my podcasts set up. So I want to save time. Why listen to something in real time if you can get it done faster, right? All right. So, and then, like I said, jot down notes as I walk you through this. And now I'm going to do my goals and dreams. So you're going to get to know what all my goals and dreams are. So I'm out there with all my goals and dreams. All right. So I am going to bring up PicMonkey now. I'll keep my face on the screen. I'm going to check the chat box real quick. So let's see. So I'm done with this, so I can get out of that, and I can go to PicMonkey. Okay. All right. And so I was going to check the chat box. Let me check chat real quick. Okay. Hello. So tell me, we have a few people here. Tell me where you're from. Like, where are you from? Oh, and I want to know what you are wearing that's green. So please share where you're from and what you're wearing that's green, because I told you I would check, and it is St. Patrick's Day, so you need to be on board with the rules of my workshop. All right. So when you first come into PicMonkey, there's a couple things. So the first thing you can do is you can just create a new image. So you create new, and you have a choice, and you can pick uploading an image from your computer, or you can pick a blank canvas. I recommend for beginners to pick a blank canvas, and that's what I'm going to do here. But for example, you can Google a like say what's the word, cork board background. By the way, if you don't know how to search images, oh, this is amazing. So you just search for cork board background, and then there's these tabs at the top, and you click images, and you could just like, you could download this so it says save image as. So I can save this image as like, I'll do it over in desktop because I've been doing stuff over here for my vision board pics. So you could do cork board, call it cork board background. So I know it's there. So I could actually now go into PicMonkey and pick computer and upload that, and that's my base image that I want to start working from. Oh, well, heck, I'll do it. So I'll show you. Go to computer, and then go to desktop, and then go to vision board pics. That's where I put it, corkboard background. And then I'll just create it as is. I don't want to put it in any, you have options to put it into a particular folder. Oh, it's too small. I can make it bigger. So you can resize things. So I can make it bigger. So you have to play around. That's something you should check, is size or something. So you can make it bigger. Oops, that looks like a piece of granite. You can make it smaller. So you can have a background, but for this, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to create new and do blank canvas. And you know, one of the things you have to keep in mind, and let's see, you have all these templates to pick from, and I would just do a rectangle, like something like maybe an 8.5 by 10, or do they have a, here's an 11.5. This does like, that's a note paper. So yeah, you think about this. You want to print it out. So an 8.5 by 11 size sheet of paper will print out really easily. So, and I'm going to call it 2019 vision board. Okay. So, and that's good to keep in mind. If you do a like corkboard background, just think if you're going to be printing it out, it's going to use a lot of ink. And so that would be one reason I would try to avoid any kind of elaborate coloring or visual background. But if you're not printing it out, then, you know, and you're just going to share it as like a picture on your computer desktop or on your phone, then you can easily just keep it, you can have it be very colorful if you want. All right, so I'm just going to leave it as a white piece of paper. And so, and then I'm going to start working on it. All right. I'm going to close my little screen for now, just because that way I can access all of my little things without it being in the way. All right. So, oh, and Marion, hi, you're from Canada. I bet it's cold and you're wearing a green sweater and scarf. You might not have noticed, I'm not wearing like leprechaun green, but I'm wearing a very foresty green. So I'm wearing green too. All right. So, let's see here. Let's start. So these are little icons, and these are things you don't really have to worry about, but this background color is where you can set a color. So if you want some kind of color, you can click here and make a color. You click, make it really red or whatever. Then you click apply, and then it's that color. You can go back and change the color. You don't have to stick with that color. But like I said, I just want it to be white. So I'm not going to do anything with the background color right now. I'm going to go over to the text icon, and you can pick text. Now, I will say you can pay for an advanced version of PicMonkey. It's very, very cheap, but the basic PicMonkey is just fine, and that's free. You don't have to pay anything for the software. If you want more fonts and more options, like in terms of graphics to bring in, then you might want to get the advanced. But for this purpose, you just download pictures off the internet. You don't need any advanced pictures or anything in PicMonkey. So there's so many basic fonts that they have, and you could actually even upload your own fonts. So, but anyways, I'll just pick a font. and then, you know, something that stands out maybe, and then you say add text. I clicked up here, add text, and then you just type in here what you want. You just put your cursor over here and type in 2019 vision board. Okay. So that was as easy as click on the font you want, click add text, and then this little text box with these little handles come up. See that? These are little handles on the end. So you can grab a handle and you can pull it out. And so if you don't like the way it's breaking, and so then you also can move it. So you take it and see that when it turns in the little hand, and then it turns into those little 4 arrows, and you just can move it up here. Another thing you can do right now, you can highlight it. So if you think it's, you can go over here, this little text box, so you can left align it, you can right align it, but you like it in the center. You can make it bigger. So you want the letters bigger, or you want them smaller. You know, I personally don't want them to take up too much room because I want to put my visions and my dreams on it. So you can also change the color of the font here. So you can have a different color, like if you want to have a blue, you know, blue title. So there's all kinds of things that you can do with your font color. I'm going to keep it at black for now. All right, so that, and I'm just going to move it up a little bit more at the top. All right, so we've now titled it, okay? So now I'm going to start adding those goals and those dreams that I have, okay? So my goals and dreams, and what I've done is I did a little pre-work before we got on the call here. And what I did is, I'm on a Mac, so your screen might be a little different than mine. But what you would do is you would go, this is a little finder. It's the same thing as going to your file folder. So your file folder is over here. And I created a little directory of, this morning I looked for images that I wanted. I have my list of goals. I already have my vision. That's work that I've done. I do that in my Make the Rest Your Best course. It's something that all my students do. So I know what all of my goals and dreams are. And so these were the ones that like were top of mind that I thought would be good for this. You know, I have a lot more, but these are biggies. So, so for instance, car, let's start with car. So what you do is when you bring an image in, this it says graphics. It's a little icon over here on the left. You click on that. And there's all kinds that you can pull up that, you know, I mean, you could get lost in this program of just like trying to pick. So the basic is where you can bring in like squares and triangles and hearts and, you know, all kinds of doily hearts and labels and, you know, lines and all kinds of things. But we're just going to bring in our own images, which is at the very top. So for now, we're just going to focus on that. So if you like to drag and drop, you can drag and drop from Finder. I usually just, you know, old-fashioned way, go to the folder and pick it up. So say car. So I love this Mercedes SUV 350. So I used to own the 450, and now I have a Enclave, a Buick Enclave. My Enclave's like 6 years old, and I do like my Enclave, but I do miss my Mercedes. So I thought, well, I just recently was like, I want that car. So, and I tell people too, if they have a particular car that they want, if they've never test driven it, they should go out and test drive it, because then you really know what it feels like, what it looks like. And I would encourage you to take pictures while you're test driving it of you with the car, of the inside of the car, your hand on the steering wheel. Those pictures are golden when it comes to your vision board. So you can associate yourself and you remember what it's like. You could, you know, maybe you have a dream of a car and you get in to test drive it and you don't like it. I remember I thought I wanted a car back when I was looking at, before I bought my Enclave, and I was like, I know I want an SUV. I don't know what I want. And I went and test drove a car that I thought I wanted, and I didn't like it at all. It was not comfortable. I did not like the feel of it. And so I was like, if that was on my vision board and then I got to the point where I could go and get it, I would have been super disappointed. So go and do as much as you can to put yourself in like that thing. Like, so the next thing is like, let's do house. All right. So one of my dreams, and I'm going to add an image here. Is a farmhouse, is to get a farmhouse. And so I could redo a farmhouse. And one of my dreams, I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it. So you can make them bigger. I probably skipped over that with the car, but you can make these things bigger. So you can make pictures bigger or smaller just by grabbing them and extending them. You don't really want to make them, if you do this, you're going to make them, you need to use the corners, because this will change the ratio, the aspect ratio, and they'll get out of, the ratio will be off. So, and you can, this is a little undo button right here. So you can undo your last action and put it back. So if I go from the corner, it kind of keeps it at the same width and length or whatever. But one of the things I want is I want a farmhouse, and I want a farmhouse that I can renovate, and I want a fire pit. So in my vision that I listen to every morning, my 5-year vision is a farmhouse with a fire pit that we sit by, and I have a very visual of it. So here's my farmhouse that I want, my farmhouse. And you can tilt things. So like up here, see the little, when it turns and it has arrows going from side to side, you can tilt it. I am personally not a graphic designer. So when I do something like this, it's going to be basic. It's not going to be all fancy schmancy. I do my best. Tilting is about as good as it gets for me. Okay, so these are, dreams of, some things I want in the future. And so, and you might want to put a little contextual caption with so let me add text. So let me find little, like, this is a little, I like this font. I'm just going to say renovated farmhouse. And then you can hit return if you want a new line, with fire pit. Fire pit, 2 words, fire pit. I don't know. Fire pit and chickens. I want chickens. Maybe I need to find a picture of chickens. So again, you highlight it and then you shrink it down a little bit so it'll fit. And then you want to be able to read it, right? So maybe turn it so it goes up here. And you probably need to turn it a little bit more so it looks like there. All right. So I have a renovated farmhouse with fire. Oh, and I need to put the, add text over here. I got my Mercedes SUV. As much as description, I think it's called a GL. I'm not sure. But as much description as you can find, and you can play with different text. I think it's fun when you have different text, like maybe this text is different. Maybe I go with, let me highlight it. Maybe I go with this one for the Mercedes. I go with a more fun font up there. Okay. And then just keep bringing in images. So my next, oops, I don't want text. So a good example. So if you bring something in and you don't want it, you can just hit delete and it removes it. Again, you could do undo as well. So we want to go back to the images, images here, and then add your own image. Another image I have that I want is, I want to go to Greece. I don't know if I can do 2 at once. Let me see. Oh, so maybe you can. So you can take and highlight multiple things by pushing down the shift key. Let me see if it'll bring in both. Looks like it only brought in one. So I want to go to Greece. and I want to go visit the mountain gorillas, and I want to go on a safari. So I have some pictures of that. Mountain gorillas. So maybe I'll do just a grouping that says trips, you know, you can do, and then you can like overlay things like this, you know, over and under, so that you can, and what you can do is, this is what the layering does. So like I can take and put the grease above the, if I move this like that, then see how the grease picture is over the monkey picture. If I move it back, then the monkey picture is over the grease picture. You can also double click, and you can move it forward and back, and you can do it that way as well. You can also duplicate and copy images and text as well. So it's really handy there. And then I'm going to go get, and I'm going to add an image of the safari. So here's a safari. See the people on the safari right there? There's some people and a giraffe. So that's going to be over here. So I want to go on a safari. Want to do all these things. How fun, right? So and then I can put some little text. So I'll show you how you do the text. So you can do you can just like highlight that, and then double click on it, and then you can copy, or it's called, I think, duplicate layer. Yeah, duplicate layer. They've changed some of the terminology of this. And so you know, you could do you could say trips, make it all caps, and you could also put text for each particular trip, you know. So let me turn this. Maybe I want to make it bigger. All right. So you could do something like trips. I know that doesn't look like an I, but I think it is an I. It's just a weird font. Let me use a different font. There's all kinds of cool. You know, I can get lost in these fonts. They're so much fun. So let's do that. Trips. And then you could also do something like, let's go back to the graphics. So you could do something like, if you go to basic, you remember they had these things here. So you could do something that like grouped them together. So, you know, it was kind of clear that it was a grouping. So you could do like some kind of a square around it. So like trips, maybe you want to do something like that. So you have like a little kind of its own little image square type of thing, you know. And then you could put like little, you know, in different colors, where, you know, mountain gorillas, safari, you know, maybe you don't even need to do that. Maybe it's all, the visual is enough for you, right? You might probably want to center the, sometimes when you want to move the text, like say, see how I can't get, if I click on trips, so this layer is over the text. So I'm kind of glad this happened, so you can see how it works. But I will just move trips above the open square, and now see how I can get to the, now it's letting me get to it, and so I can move it. I can move it so it's centered in that little box. All right, and you can also change the, I believe that you can change the thickness of the effects. Let's see, drop shadow, erase. So I think you can change the how the thickness of this, but you can also fade it. So you can make it lighter. See how it's going lighter, and then it's going darker. And oh, here it is. So here's the percentages here of the fade. So if you know something's faded at a certain percent, you can go back and adjust it. Inner shadow, I don't know. So yeah, so you can do all these kind of, I don't know what all these things do, but so clearly if I can do this, strength, I don't know if that makes it smaller. but that's how you do, yeah, that's how you would put something in a like a little block in and of itself. All right, so then let's go to, frames is a good thing. Let me hop over to frames while we're there. So you can do, just add a little frame. See how it's a white background, it's kind of boring. So you could do a little edge. So you could like have a little frame, and you could make your little inner border like a red, so give it a little pop. Or if you like, if you're more of a blue person, or you like green, since it's St. Patrick's Day, let's do green. You can move it around to be a lighter color or a darker color or whatever. You might want the outer border to be green and the inner border to be black. Sometimes that's better. So you could do, say, okay, I want green to be my outer border, and I want my inner border to be black. All right. So you can get all fancy here. You can also have the edges be more soft, corners. You can also have it be thicker. So the inside, depending, the outside can be bigger and the inside just lighter. So that's a lot of fun to do the frame around it. And that doesn't take up a lot of ink. So I'm gonna go back to graphics and grab something else. So let's see, what else do I have in my folder? Oh, hot air balloon. So that's a hot air balloon. I want to do a hot air balloon. I probably should do all my like crazy stuff down here. So I also wanted to go skydiving. I have a lot of big, fearful goals this year. So let's see. We're gonna do the skydiving over here. It's crazy, I know, but that's what I'm doing. All right, so hot air balloon, skydiving. I'll call this my Daredevil section. Then we want to go and we want to do graphics again, pull another image up. All right, so, I mentioned public speaking earlier on. Yes, I want to be speaking. So I found this image of this person speaking. So I thought that was really awesome. Notice that I haven't put any timelines with anything yet. You can do that. I think for things that that are more goal oriented and you do have a specific timeline. So I work in, and this is what I teach my students in my Make the Rest Your Best, work in 90-day, buckets. So I used to plan, and I learned to do 90 days as opposed to monthly. And I still do like kind of a monthly, I do a plan for my month, like to make sure my 4 weeks are laid out right. But it's 90-day goals, 90-day goals. I don't have monthly goals. I don't have monthly goals. I have 90-day goals, and then I have yearly goals. And so, so I think it's really important that, you have, for near-term things, you have a specific date, set up for that. All right, so let me go back and grab something else. All right, so, oh yes, this is one. So this was me when I was in super great shape. Like, I'm trying to think when this was taken. Maybe this was 4 years ago. And I want to get back into that shape again, because it's been about almost 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with frozen shoulder, and it took me a while to get over frozen shoulder. And so I kind of lost my mojo there. And so I need to get back to fighting for him again. I was in such great shape. And so that's one of my goals. So I need to put that in here. I need to move things around a little bit. And, honestly, here should probably have some metrics around it. Like, what is this? What did I weigh then? So that's about, I want to say that's probably about 12 pounds from where I am right now. So I might want to put lose 12 pounds next to it. Um, so that would be a good goal for that one. Okay, so let me grab another one. Let's see. I want to do a retreat. So I have 2 pictures. So I have a plan to do a retreat with my group students in August. So let me, so I thought that's a good picture of people, women in a session, you know, learning, growing together. I thought that would be great. And so, oh, I did also have a good picture that went with that. Retreat 2. Yeah, I found this cool picture and it says retreat on it. And I thought that was really neat. So I can make it smaller and put it here. Retreat, retreat. Maybe I'll put it here. Yeah, there. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. What else do we have here? Oh, okay. So this one is my husband and I. This is our wedding day, and I'll make it bigger because it was a great day. So this is our wedding day, and he is my second marriage. So we got married when I was 50, and he was 52. And so our 10th anniversary is this July. So we want to have a big party. So let's do a little text for that. I want to do this one. Add text. Let's do anniversary party. All right, I can make it a little bit bigger, highlight it, go over here, make the size a little bigger. And then we'll go over here and we'll go here, slide it down. So I could put that. I might want to put 10th year anniversary party. What else? Add text. Oh no, I don't want to add text. Let me undo that. Let me add an image. Oops. I want to be a best-selling author. So this is actually one of my 5-year goals. So I'll put it down here, but yeah, that's a big one. So I'll try to fit it up here, move this stuff up, up, move this up, up, move this up. Maybe turn this a little sideways. Oh, I see there's a little, can you see the little kind of edge to it that's white? So I might want to pull that down under the, where is it? Under the trips, under the open square. That's where I want it. Under the open square. There. Yeah. So now, see, now it's not hindering that square. Cool, huh? Yeah. Cool. Cool beans. All right. So let's see what else there is. I think I'm getting to near the end. We have 16 minutes left, so I'm mindful of time. I want to keep this to an hour. I got skydive, a quit job. Okay, yes. So one of the things I want to do is quit my job. My corporate job I have right now is something that I want to leave. So that's one of my big goals this year. So I thought this was a good visual for that. I quit. So I think I might want to put this up here, move these down here a little bit. Move my retreat. I need to get this one. Okay, here we go. Sometimes you have to just keep clicking on something to get it to respond. All right, and then let's see, what else? Did I get everything? Skydiving, quit job, retreat, hot air balloon, trips, mountain gorillas, farmhouse, car. That is everything. That's actually not everything. Let me take that back. It is, I have lots of other things, but that is Okay, so let me go back to my, okay, how do I cancel? These things are in the way. Okay. How can I get to my, let me pretend to bring something in. I'll just delete it because I can't cancel this. See if, okay, so I'll just bring the car in again. Okay, there we go. And I'll just delete it. Can get back to the screen. All right, so undo. The other thing that I would recommend is that you save your work as you go, because that's really important. You don't want to spend all this time doing these pictures, and then you can't move these around a little bit. I'm so glad I have my vision board done now. I might add some more stuff to it and make this a little smaller since that's going out. Just do some little refining here. Turn this a little bit. See, I'm just clicking on these various things and just moving them slightly, getting them recentered and removed, and move this a little down here. And so I'll go back in and add some text in some of these different places and move things around. But so this is the basic. I mean, this is what you can do just from a basic standpoint. But you get everything like written down and visual. Like, see, now when I go and look at this, I am going to be so like, I'm going to be like reminded of all those things that I want to do. And then my brain is going to want to take action on getting these things done. What's the activities around these things? What do I need to do to make that happen? So one of the things that people sometimes put on their vision boards, and so let me get out of here. So before I comment on that, let me show you how to save it. So the PicMonkey has this thing called Hub. Now, as I said, there's a free version and then there's a paid version. The paid version isn't very expensive. But I'm not sure if you get the Hub with the free version, but the Hub version, I think you might get a little, like you can save certain, but you can't save, like I can save a lot of pictures, but you might not be able to save too many in the Hub. But the Hub is where you can save and you can go back and tweak it. It used to be with PicMonkey that you couldn't, it was an image and then you couldn't go back and move things around after you saved it. So you want to be able to save it. So you can just save it. It's in the Hub now. There's really nothing that you can do. I don't think there's anything you really need to do to save it. So it's right there. You can put it in a, you can name it, you can duplicate it. I think you can move, yeah, so you can put it into a collection. So there's, if I have a collection of vision boards or something like that, you can put it in a collection. Otherwise, it just stays unsorted. Just think of it like if you're say a file folder system on your computer, some things just go to the top level and they stay there unless you put them into a folder. So this is kind of the same deal. So we're not going to put it in a collection right now, but it's there in my Hub. So when I reopen PicMonkey, I come back here and edit it. So I'm going to go back to my other screen. All right, so okay, here it is. So this is the way you get it to your computer. So you export, and then it just takes the image name. You can change the name if you want on export. And this is the dimensions it is. You don't really need to worry about that because you use the template for 8.5 by 11. So it's going to be 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And then you're going to export to computer, and it's down my computer now. So now when I go to my downloads directory, I see my vision board, and that is my vision board. So, and that is what, all I have to do is go and like say file, print, and they'll print it on my printer upstairs. So it's as easy as that. It's so cool. These are some affirmations I was using as an example when I did my presentation. All right, so let's go back, and I'm going to get on screen and I will take questions. Hey, everyone. Okay, you should have been wondering if we can do this with Canva. Yes, you can do it with Canva. Canva is just, oh, that is kind of annoying in the background, my lights. Here, let me turn them off or turn them down. Canva is, a lot of people like Canva better. I just find Canva harder because I know PicMonkey, and PicMonkey is very easy for me to use. So, hey, Jean, yay, you're here. You're in green. So yeah, so Canva's fine. Canva also, you can't do much in Canva without having to pay for it. So for example, I was working with a graphic designer last week, and she shared something with me, and she was using a different font than so when she shared it with me, when I looked at it, the fonts were wrong because I didn't have the fonts, and I had to have the paid version of Canva to have the fonts. And I was like, well, I'm not going to pay for Canva just to get the fonts I want. I have PicMonkey. PicMonkey's fine. And the font I wanted is in PicMonkey. So, but yes, you can do that. You can use, if you're familiar with that. So I wanted to mention, just some people put on their, you're welcome. Great name, by the way. So some people put, by the way, for those of you who are rewatching this as a replay, I said she had a great name because her name's Lori. My name's spelled a little different, but she's still cool because her name's Lori. So anyways, a lot of people will put money goals on their vision boards, and I would suggest you refrain from doing that because money means nothing. And you might have a goal of making a certain amount of money, or getting a raise, or getting a bonus or something of a certain amount of money. But basically, money doesn't drive, number one, it doesn't create happiness. And number two, it doesn't motivate you. So there are studies from employers everywhere that say giving an employee more money will not keep them at the company. So it's the value of what you're doing. So if you translate that into a vision board, it's the value that you see emotionally in those pictures of the things that you want. Money will get you those things in most cases, but money is not the goal. The goal is the farmhouse. The goal is the car. The dream is the car. The destination is the car. And then the goals are the many things that you need to get to there, so maybe there's a goal of getting a promotion at work because that will give you more money. Maybe the goal is to complete a project early because you'll get a bonus for that. So make it, complete a project. It should be what's on your vision board. Complete this XYZ project, not make XYZ money. And so that is what I would recommend. I had a vision board 5 years ago, and it had make X amount. I don't know if it was a week or a month, and it had a picture of a money bag, and did I reach that destination in that time frame? No, because it was all about the money. It wasn't about the joy that I got from executing on my dreams. It's dreams. You've probably heard the thing of what's your why? People say, what's your why? You got to have a reason. What's the why? But it's really about those things that you feel, and I'm all about heart-centered. So your dreams have to be heart-centered. So, and some people, they're lost. They don't even know. And I was that way. I was like, when my kids left home, I was like, I have focused my whole life on my kids. Even though I worked my whole life, I was like, they were my number one priority. When I went to the store, a clothing store, I bought them stuff. And I always put I just I wanted to get things for them. Fortunately, they turned out okay. They're not like totally spoiled. I didn't do it every time, I guess, but I never was like going to get stuff for me. So when they left, I was like, what is it? What do I want? What are my dreams? What are and what are those things you wanted like back when you were younger? You know, like there are things that you have probably that are probably hidden away under that rock inside of you that you've forgotten about. And some of this is just sitting and being quiet and letting your mind just wander, and just let your mind, you know, the weather's getting nicer, you know, find a nice day, sit on your deck, grab a glass of wine, and just let your mind wander back to the day when you did have dreams, before you had all these responsibilities of children and, you know, work and spouse and whatever all those things are. So get back to, I remember I've wanted to play with monkeys since I was a little kid. I've always loved animals. I was collected all the lost animals and pets. We had a bunny, we had a duck, we had a horse, we had a zillion dogs and cats. And we had dogs that had puppies, and I would be like helping them be born. And, you know, my parents said, "Oh, you're going to be a vet." Well, I wasn't great in the sciences and math. So, but I, you know, hey, I'll be a dog walker. I'll be like, you know, and so one of my longer term dreams is, I think it'd be really fun to have like a place for dogs, like a rehab place, like, you know, a pet place where people can go. And I would love to be a person that goes and to the hospital with a dog and has a trained dog to do that kind of stuff. But so yeah, I've always monkeys have fascinated me. I've wanted to go into the mountains of Uganda and watch the mountain gorillas. So fascinating. I went to see Jack Hanna talk last year. I dragged my husband, but he showed a video of him taking his grown daughters and his wife, because he's been to see them a lot of times, but he finally had the opportunity to take them. And I think his wife was sick, if I can recall. I think she had cancer. And so it was his dream to take his family to see the mountain gorillas. And so he did that. So yeah. So what is it? And I mentioned the Mercedes. You know, I had a Mercedes 10 years ago, actually more than 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And when my ex-husband and I divorced, he got the SUV Mercedes. And I always loved that car. And after I got married, I got a Honda Accord. And then when I went to get the SUV, the Enclave, I was like, you know, I'm proud of myself. I bought an American car. So, and it's been a great car, but back in the recesses of my mind, I've never had a car that I've loved so much. They drive so nicely. The turn ratio of those cars is incredible. And so I was like, you know, when I started dreaming dreams, it's like, I'm going to put that on my vision board. I'm going to put that on my list of things I want. And the skydiving and the hot air balloon are new. Those are new bucket list items that I just came up with in the last, as I was, before the year started, I knew I was going to turn 60, and I knew that I wanted to have a year of fear. So I wanted to have a lot of things that were something. I used to say, you will never catch me jumping out of a plane. Why would you jump out of a plane? Why would you jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Because I have a fear of heights. But I thought, you know, what a better way to challenge yourself to like do something. And everybody you talk to who skydives says how exhilarating it is and how wonderful. I have ziplined. Yes. Ziplining is very amazing. I've ziplined 3 times. So once in Jamaica, and once in when we went to Mexico last year, and once a friend locally where I live here built a zip line in his backyard. So I have zip lined there. The place in Jamaica was the best. And let me tell you, it was an adventure. It was one of those adventure things you sign up for. And it was like a series of zip lines. So the other 2 times I've just zip lined once. Once was across this big body of water. Another one was in somebody's backyard, so it wasn't very far. But the one in Mexico was like 8 or 9 zip lines, and it was like you went from one to the next through the jungle. And it was so much fun. And I will tell you, that was such a great experience because we were with a group of people and we didn't know the other people. It was my husband and I. And this woman, she was shaking. I mean, she was like, she was so afraid. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? You know, and she's like, tears were coming down her. And she said, you know, I said, I kind of felt like she maybe was forced to do it by whoever she was with. And she said, no, it was my decision to come here because I'm so afraid of it and I want to face my fears. And I was like, holy crap, you are amazing for that. So she was so inspiring to me, but it was so much fun. We even zip lined down. So a lot of the zip lines were across, kind of like slow, going down. But one was like vertical down. So that was really fun. Oh, you did that? You did 7 in the Dominican? Oh, that's so much fun. Okay, great. All right. I'm so glad, Lori. So glad you have the vision board. Now you can go do it. And Jen just checked that off her bucket list. That's amazing. So you need to replace it with something, put something new on your bucket list. All right, it's 5:01. I started at 4:01. I want to wrap up. I appreciate you coming here. I am going to end, and I'm going to share this with, I will make sure that if you're here, you registered and I have your email addresses. And so you will be getting email with the link to watch the replay. Okay. Oh, and I totally forgot about the Chrome extension. Let me share my screen. Let me show you it. Yes. So this Chrome extension is called Video Speed Controller. So if you aren't familiar with how to do a Chrome extension, so what you do is you go, so it's called Video Speed Controller. So you go and you have to be using Chrome. So if you don't have a Chrome browser, Google the Chrome browser, go here and go Chrome and Google Chrome, and then you download the Google Chrome browser. And then once you have the Google Chrome browser, then you go to this Video Speed Controller link, and like make sure it's the right one. Okay, don't want you to send you the wrong place. And this is the Google Chrome web store. So think of this like if you're familiar with your phone or your Google Play phone. So you have a store. So this is kind of like the store for extensions, Chrome extensions. So you say, okay, this is great. Speed up and slow down, rewind, blah, blah, blah. Yes. So if it knows I already have this, but so it's saying, do I want to remove it? But for you, it would say add to Chrome. So yes, so you add to Chrome, and then if you want to see, so you, is it here? So yeah, if you're on the Chrome browser, you click on these little 3 it's kind of like says more here, that's kind of like the 3 vertical dots. And you go over here and you say more tools, and then you say extensions. So this is where all your extensions, and you can enable them and disable them, but it'll show you the Video Speed Controller and it's on. If it was off, it would look like this. And so what this does is now if I go to YouTube, let me just show you how this works. So I can watch any video, and any video, like if you're in Facebook Live, or not Facebook Live, if you're on Facebook on your computer, you can use this for any video you're watching on Facebook too. It doesn't work on, your phone because, it's a Chrome extension. You have to be using Chrome on your desktop to be using this. But for instance, so like, let's watch The Bachelor and Colton and his new love. So see up here, you will see. If you understand this one concept, you can make a. Let me pause it now. So there's a little. It says 1.00 in like this little gray, and when you hover over it, it shows you that's basically that's the normal speed. 1.00 is a normal speed of a video. You can slow it down or speed it up. So if I go plus, 1.5, this is 1.5 times as fast as the normal speed. So watch. Full-time income from home. And if you don't believe me, that's completely fine. You should it when a guy screams at you on YouTube. So it can also go through ads more quickly. There was a 27-year-old virgin bachelor named Colton who treasured his virginity so much. He waited to go on national television to lose it. He is here tonight with his maiden fair. Please welcome Colton Underwood and Cassie Randolph. All right, so see how fast that is now? I'm listening at double time, and this video is 10 minutes. So I technically save save, am I not recording this? I'm recording it. I think it's just to automatically record. But you know, you would save 5 minutes of your life. It's valuable. That's valuable. That 5 minutes is half of a meditation session for me. So if I watch 2 videos, and they're 10 minutes each, and I watch them double time, I can meditate. I can like do my meditation in that time frame. So I love that extension. I heard about it about 3 or 4 years ago, and I swear it has made me save so much time. I wish I could add up all of the hours that extension has saved me. So that is my gift to you, vision board training and video speed controller. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and thanks so much for being here. No other questions before I go? All righty. Bye-bye.